Welcome back to the channel. My name is Triple Chads. I'm an ultimate Ironman with one simple goal: to complete the best in slot gear without ever using the bank. In the previous episode, we completed some more combat achievements, risked it all in the wilderness, and finally completed the master tier combat achievements. And that brings us up to now. So now that we've got the master combat achievements behind us, there is something big that I need to get out of the way. So far, this year has been great for upgrading my magic gear. We started the year by completing the Ancestral Robe set, and after that we got the best in slot Tunican Shadow, but there's still something missing. While it's not a piece of armor, it's still very valuable and necessary for this setup. You already know what it is, it's the Imbued Heart. This item is an absolute game changer. Once every few minutes, it gives us a massive boost to our magic level. It's basically a super magic potion, but the best part about it is that unlike other potions, this thing never runs out. Now, while we do have magic boosting potions in the game, none of them come even close to being a viable alternative. They're a big pain to get, and a lot of them don't even come close to the Imbued Heart's boost. At level 99 magic, we get a whopping plus 10 boost from the Imbued Heart. When you combine that with our Tunican Shadow and our best in slot magic gear, you can trivialize a ton of different bosses. The plus 10 boost from the heart takes our max hit from 60 to 68, not to mention the increased accuracy we would get as well. This is a huge DPS boost at so many different places. I can't comfortably call my gear best in slot until I fix this major gap in my magic setup, so that's why we'll be going for the Imbued Heart. Damn it. Well, that was the first superior of many during this Imbued Heart grind. And before we go any further, I should probably explain how the Imbued Heart meta works, and honestly, it's pretty janky. The Imbued Heart is only dropped through superior monsters from Slayer. The chance of receiving the Imbued Heart increases as the Slayer level required for that particular monster increases. For example, a low-level Slayer superior like a Banshee has a 1 out of 1,288 chance of dropping, but something with a much higher Slayer level requirement, like the Abyssal Demon, has a 1 out of 352 chance. So the idea is to maximize the amount of superior spawns from those high-level tasks. This means we need to run through a lot of these tasks as fast as we can, and the best way to do that is by prioritizing those high-level tasks that can be barraged. Since Ice Barrage is a high-level multi-targeted spell, we can easily complete an extended Abyssal Demon task in about 30 minutes. The tasks that we're going to prioritize are Araxites, Smoke Devils, Abyssal Demons, and Necreals. These are all in multi-combat zones, and we can quickly barrage our way through the tasks. The base chance of a superior spawn is 1 out of 200, but since we've already completed the elite tier of the combat achievements, this cuts it down to a 1 out of 150. It's basically mandatory if you're going to be hunting the Imbued Heart, because it's quite literally speeding it up by 25%. The one downside of this Slayer method is that if we don't get one of those 4 tasks, then we have to resort to tutorial skipping. Tutorial skipping is a mechanic originally put into the game so that players weren't forced to do a task that was deemed too difficult. So we can use this to our advantage. If we get something we don't want, then we'll go to Turiel, and he'll just assign us something quick and easy like 15 goblins, then we can go back to Duradel and hope that we get the nice barrage task. Another thing I wanted to quickly mention is that a lot of these tasks will be taking place inside of the catacombs, and the superiors here have a guaranteed drop of the Dark Totem piece. So we will be using those to kill Skotizo. Also, I wanted to mention that I will be doing every single clue scroll that I get during this Imbued Heart grind. Okay, it turns out I've also got some extra totem pieces inside of his Spori, so I'm going to grab those out for another Skotizo kill. Another side goal that I wanted to try and complete alongside the Imbued Heart grind is the Hard Clue grind. Hard clues are very abundant from Slayer, and there's a 100% chance to get one from Skotizo. Anyway, I'd like to complete as many clues as possible for the chance at some Third Age, and some other items as well. I've never received Third Age on any account before, and I think it'd be a huge flex to have that on an Ultimate Ironman. Oh, and the collection logs are cool too. And there's one more update from earlier this year that definitely helps out UIMs, not only for the Imbued Heart, but for anything involving a cannon. One of the last restrictions that UIMs had with sailing was the cargo hold. Well, Jagex eventually removed all of those restrictions completely, so now we can store infinite cannonballs in our cargo on the ship. So now as an ultimate, whenever I get a cannon task, I can just go grab the cannonballs rather than holding onto them 24/7. Oh, ho, ho. There we go. First Arania boots that we've seen so far, which is actually kind of crazy because I've killed 3,000 of these and just finally saw some. And during all this Slayer, we saw Superior after Superior after Superior, with no luck so far. We stacked up some totems, got some Scotizo kills, and stacked up enough clues that it was finally time to take a break and go complete some. But before any of that, you already know I had to drop over some spare loot to my main. Alright, so here are all of my wilderness clues that I've stacked up so far. I just rejuggled them. Now all I need to do is go grab the rest of my stuff from History, and I will death pile. Alright, so I completed as many of the clues as I could. The last 2 steps were the stupid crow's ear step in the wilderness that I don't have. Anyway, that is 22 hard clues, so let's just spin to win. Okay, first master.
Nice.
Oh,
Glog.
Gothic,
that's cool.
is that what it says?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay, I gotta elk
that
these.
is huge. Damn, that's garbage. Damn, that's garbage. Damn, that's garbage.
Another
Damn,
master.
that's master. Happened. Huge. Ooh, there's another
Oh,
one.
another master.
You got a pimp cane too?
Okay.
Huge. Damn, that's garbage. Damn.
Damn, these aren't
They're
so good.
pretty
These are-
bad.
These are pretty bad. Holy shit. Okay, 5 left. Let's go. Ooh, that's something.
that?
I already have those ancient
Oh,
chaps.
ancient chaps. Garbage.
Garbage. Oh,
That would have been good a little while ago, right?
I already have it.
Garbage.
Damn. Okay. Fast forward to the next day, I ended up completing those master clues, and the only unique I got was the Anku legs, so here's me trapping them in my POH for the rest of eternity. So after all those clue scrolls, I went back to tutorial skipping for some more tasks. Obviously, I'm only looking for those high-level tasks, and sometimes they can take quite a bit of time to get. I previously mentioned that I was only going to be doing Araxites, Smoke Devils, Abyssal Demons, and Necreals. Well, most players don't do Necreals, and Abyssal Demons are kind of a toss-up as well. I personally don't mind either of these tasks, and I'd rather be doing those tasks than tutorial skipping in general. Anyway, we eventually got ourselves some real tasks that were filled with lots and lots of superiors. But still, no luck this time. And of course, you can't forget, we had to do some Scotizo kills. Oh shit, that's a big boy. Won't that be crazy? Damn it. So I started switching up how I kill these superior Araxites, because they have this annoying mechanic that actually removes your venom immunity, and anti-venoms are kind of difficult for an ultimate like me to make. So since I already have my shadow and my magic gear for barrage tasks, I decided, why don't I just safe spot them? Never lucky. Alright, got some caskets here, I got 18 hards and 1 elite, so let's jump right into it. Going for the elite first. Yep. Oh, sick. White Cavalier? Milady.
Damn.
Alright, and after completing all those, I have 2 master caskets to open. No way. Okay, that's a dupe. Damn, let's check out the log. Yeah. Damn, okay.
All right, we're sitting at 400 hard clues. Let's open 12 more of them. So let's jump right into it.
Oh, sweet. New collection.
Master. Oh, Bando's D'hide boots. Let's go. Wow. Got 2 new collection logs. That's not bad. All right, I got a master clue here. Let's spin to win. All right, well, that's a new collection.
Okay, so here's kind of a weird jump. I decided to go kill some zombie pirates in the wilderness because they actually drop a scroll that sorta helps us with Slayer. The teleport anchoring scroll makes it so that the abyssal demons can no longer toss us around. It's not necessarily a DPS upgrade, but if you've ever barraged abyssal demons in the catacombs before, you know exactly how annoying they can be. The scroll is a 1 out of 20,000, and I really wasn't going to show much on this, but I ended up getting something that I never expected. No, not the loot here. That was garbage. No way. Actually, that's not too crazy, because those are only a 1 out of 5,000. Yeah, we got a few minutes left in our trip, so let's finish this out. Alright, so here is the Champions Challenge minigame. For those that don't know, there are 10 different monsters around the game that drop these scrolls. They are essentially invites to come fight the champion for that race. Each of the champions have a different rule set that go along with the fight. For example, the zombie champion, we are not allowed to use magic attacks, which will not be an issue. The champions themselves aren't really that difficult to defeat either. And if you manage to find all 10 scrolls and defeat their respective champions, then you can earn yourself the Champion's Cape. It looks pretty cool, but unfortunately it's purely cosmetic, so there isn't really much point in going for this, other than the collection logs. Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, then you can help me out by subscribing and liking the video. We're getting very close to 2,000 subscribers, and it's all thanks to you guys. Thanks again for supporting the channel. And after all that Slayer, I decided that I needed to take a little bit of a break. I wanted to knock out some more combat achievements and thought that Corp would be pretty easy to do. The only tasks that I was missing were the kill count tasks, so that means getting 25 and then 50 KC. Nice. Okay, that's some nice little ALC money. It's like 1.5 mil. Yo, there we go. Corporeal Beast Veteran, 25 KC. Halfway there. Then I do 1 kill on mobile and I get myself the Holy Elixir. And if you noticed, I already have the Spirit Shield too. And I just wanted to say that I don't really think Corp is worth grinding for any of these Spirit Shields. Sure, they're pretty cool, but none of them are really worth the time investment. Hypothetically, if I got an Ellie, I probably would keep it because it's a pretty cool flex. But in modern OSRS, the Spirit Shields and even the Ellie are kind of bad. Alright, that is 50 KC at Corporeal Beast. So, we did not get any sigils, so we don't have to make the awkward decision of dropping any of them. But yeah, that's probably all of the Corp I'm ever going to do on this account. Alright, let's put on the Blessed Spirit Shield one last time. Pretty cool. Anyway. There we go. goodbye. Oh, damn. That alks for quite a bit. And there we go, 5 out of 5 CAs at Corp. After that short break, we went back to the Imbued Heart grind. At this point, I decided that it would be a lot cooler if I stacked up all of my hard caskets that I received during the Imbued Heart grind. I could potentially stack up hundreds to open whenever I got the heart drop, and the number of caskets that I would need to complete before I finally saw my heart would be a total mystery. At least, that was my initial thought. Shortly after I decided to start stacking clues, the new Wormscraig and Slayer Master were announced. At least at the time of reading the first blogs put out by Jagex, they made it seem like the Wormscraig update would be the new meta for the Imbued Heart due to Mortimer. He apparently is a replacement for tutorial skipping and can offer tasks with increased superior spawn chances. So after reading all that, I decided that I would only go to 100 caskets stacked up, then I would take a break so that I could go for the Venator Bow instead to also help speed up my Slayer. Because honestly, Abyssal Demons and Araxites are kind of a pain in the ass to do in my setup. More so Abyssal Demons because they're constantly teleporting me around, and if I had the Venator Bow, it would be a lot more chill to do these. But still, stacking up 100 hard caskets from Slayer takes a long time. Dude, look at this. How rare is that? 2 superior spawns at the same time. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can only have 1 superior spawned at a time, so this would have meant I killed 2 on the exact same tick, and they spawn on the exact same tick. Anyway, we completed a lot more Slayer tasks with many more superiors, and a lot of tutorial skipping as well. This process of tutorial skipping and Slayer was basically all I did for the course of the next month or so. The Imbued Heart grind can be brutal for some. Statistically speaking, about 1 in 4 players will actually get their Imbued Heart before 99 Slayer. And for the other 3/4 of us, that means that we could potentially go very dry on this. I mean, it's not uncommon to go 20, 30 mil Slayer XP, maybe even more. I really only took breaks to do my clue scrolls. I would do as many steps as possible until I got a wilderness step. Then I would stack up about 10 or so of those so that I could death pile and knock them all out in one go. And you can't forget that Skotizo was the real MVP because he gave me a hard clue scroll every time I defeated him. And quickly, one more thing, this isn't exactly meta. As I said before, most players would either use a Venator Bow here, or use ults to dance while barraging. Well, I don't have access to either of those things, so my alternative is a little different. I actually end up using the Din's Bulwark special attack combined with the Light Bearer and double death charge. If you're somehow in this scenario with similar gear, it's actually pretty good for Araxites. Damn. We hit the superior drop table. No! Are you serious? Dude, that's the wrong one! Yeah, you might have noticed that I didn't get a collection log pop up for that. Well, that's because that's actually the second gem that I've gotten. These are the same drop rate as the Imbued Heart, and they're basically worthless on an Ultimate Ironman. So I'm gonna have to drop it off to my main account. Kinda sucks because that could have been the Imbued Heart right there, but guess we're not lucky this time. Damn. Check out this loot I got here. I would have been a pimp in 2007. Alright, here's a little update. We are sitting at 79 hard caskets completed so far. As you can see, I've got a lot sitting on the floor, but before I take care of those, I actually need to clean up my Hesperia a little bit, because I have some excess items I need to get rid of. Yeah, so I've been hanging on to all the whip drops that I've gotten, and the Urania boots. I definitely do not need this many. I'm going to keep one of each, just because I have some wilderness stuff that I want to do later, but yeah, for right now, they're kind of taking up a lot of space. Okay, you know what time it is. I've got spare whips. I've got spare Urania boots. Let's sell these, and my main will buy them. I don't have enough cash. Oh my god. Okay, well, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. And now time to go do some wilderness clues. Ah, shit. Oh, there's two of them. No, 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 no. Noobs. Oh, fuck. Oh my god. So here's a little trick for the Intrana clue step. Obviously we aren't allowed to bring weapons and armor to Intrana, and dropping my items on the floor only lasts for 2 minutes. Well, if we use them on a table, they will actually stay there for 10 minutes instead. We just have to hope that nobody checks upstairs, otherwise my items are gone.
That's weird. You can see the loot beam through the floor.
And luckily no one stole our stuff.
There we go. Casket number 90. 90% of the way there.
And so we went back to Slayer as we approached the goal of 100 hard clue caskets. At this point, any time that I had free time, I was trying to do as much Slayer as I could on mobile. I had done a decent amount of Slayer on mobile during this grind, and every time I got a superior, I would start recording in hopes of receiving that heart. I ended up deleting all of those clips because even a 30-second clip on my phone takes up like 500 megabytes, and of course my Google Drive is always full. But there was one clip that I kept, and it was this one right here. And for whatever reason, my phone didn't record any audio for the live reaction, but let me tell you, I was very excited to see this. This happened during my lunch break while at work, and I bursted out with joy, and my coworker heard me, was very confused why I had just shouted. I don't even remember the excuse I came up with because I was just so excited about the Imbued Heart. So we ended up killing a total of 338 superior creatures, and stopped at about 21.7 mil Slayer XP. And honestly, I have no idea if this was lucky, unlucky, or right on drop rate. There's so many factors that go into it that it's almost impossible to calculate. Also, the loot tracker would be a nightmare to go through because I did all of this on 3 different devices. Originally, I said I was going to take a break at 100 clue scrolls. Well, obviously since we got the Imbued Heart, that kind of wraps up Slayer. But I was so close to the 100 casket milestone that I figured I could get 10 more hard clues. So I went to the old-fashioned jellies in the catacombs, and finally got to test out the Imbued Heart.
Dang, this guy is a champion.
It might not have seemed like it, but that Imbued Heart grind was about 2 months worth of footage. The big problem that I was running into was that unlike my previous videos where I'm grinding a specific boss with expensive drops, the clips in this video were very repetitive. So it was a challenge to try and compile all of that into something that's interesting for you to watch. The jellies did not take too long to gather the last of the hard clues, and it was very tempting to open these caskets as they've been sitting in my inventory for almost a month. And logistically speaking, I was down in extra space the entire time on my already limited inventory. Anyway, the last of these caskets will likely have to wait for the next video, so make sure to check that one out when it drops, because you already know it's going to start with a big clue opening. If you enjoyed this video, then YouTube also thinks you might like one of these videos, so make sure to click those and check them out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, drop a like and let me know what you thought. I make sure to read each and every single comment, and I always love to hear your feedback. Anyway, that'll be it, and I'll see you in the next one.